Good afternoon. This is just an awesome occasion. And as I look around and I look at the number of student athletes that we have here with a 3.25 or better, again, that is just awesome. Once again, good afternoon and welcome to the second annual Scholar Athlete Luncheon. My name is Travis Brown, and I am the Director of Athletics for the St. Louis Public Schools. It is my hope that you had a great time during the networking period with your role models and other individuals. We are proud of your accomplishments, both on and off the fields, the courts. And I would like to reiterate that the St. Louis Public Schools athletic and academic programs are vital to the positive social, physical, and educational development of the student athletes. And again, welcome. It is my distinct honor to introduce to you an individual who has established a reputation as an extremely capable, effective board member. One who is committed to academic excellence. One who never loses sight of students and their needs. And it should be noted that he is a former athlete in the St. Louis Public Schools. It is my pleasure to introduce the Honorable Mr. Richard Gaines.
Good afternoon. You know, I would imagine 100 years ago when I was your age, I may have sat in the chairs that you're sitting in now. And I'll tell you what would have been important to me. I can remember playing sports, again, when I was your age. And we knew everybody that was on our team. And usually we knew one or two other teams, the players on the one or two other teams. I played basketball, so we'd see one another, and we'd play in the summer. I'm going to ask two questions. How many of you sitting at the table you're sitting at now know the names of at least 4 other people, not including the grown person at your table? How many of you know 4 names? Well, it seems as though some of us have some work to do. You know, one of the greatest things in the world is to know when you can, is to know your opponent. Because regardless of who wins, you're able to look one another right in the eye and say, good job. That's important. That's what fellowship and sportsmanship begins with, when you can say that. You have an opportunity here today to sit with people. I didn't have that opportunity. You have an opportunity to sit in one of the largest rooms for banquets in the state of Missouri with true gold leaf ceilings, one of the most architecturally significant buildings in this state, and have a luncheon to be recognized as being scholar, and the word scholar comes first. Scholar athletes. More of you will have a better chance in life with the scholar part of that as you matriculate in life than the athletic part. But the athletic part can be extraordinarily important for you. Now, I'm going to ask that by the time you leave, know the names of at least 4 other people at the table. Talk to people, exchange numbers. Last year we had a little over 300 people here. This year there are 412 of you. That's 412 of you who go to St. Louis Public Schools, who have B averages, and who are athletes as well. That is wonderful, absolutely wonderful. I would hope, I gotta mention two people here, and I'll tell you why. You know, when you start mentioning names of people, you always mess up because you forgot somebody. But there are two people here I wanna mention, one because of his athletic prowess, and obviously in this room at your tables, you have wonderful role models for athletic prowess. But I'm gonna mention one because his activity, and he did something that very few people in the world have done. Would Ivy Crockett please stand? At one time, not today, but at one time, he was the fastest man in the world. He had the world record for the 100-yard dash. Fastest man in the world. Now I'm going to ask Reuben Shelton to please stand. Reuben played basketball at Northwest High School. And was one of the greatest athletes to come from St. Louis Public Schools. That's not why I asked him to stand. Reuben has just been elected president-elect of the Missouri Bar Association. My wife served as a member of that bar association some years ago. But it's important for you to understand that Reuben becomes, when he ascends to the position next year, the first African American in the history of this state to hold that title. Now, for all of the rest of you who've had these dramatic accomplishments that I didn't say anything about, don't get mad with me. I just picked two. They only allowed me to pick two. I picked them only because I saw them first when they came in. That's the only reason. I want you to have a good time today. Meet the people you sit with. Maybe exchange some phone numbers. Not that I like you the way you look, young lady, not that kind of phone number. Exchange some phone numbers, get to know one another, enjoy being who you are. One last question. How many of you here today were here last year? Thanks so much for coming. We hope you enjoy this. We hope you appreciate it for what it should be appreciated for. And now you can talk to some great people right after me. Good evening.
Thank you, Mr. Gaines. Again, for me it's a pleasure to introduce to you one of the most decorated female athletes of all times. Jackie dominated the track and field circuit 13 years and won 3 gold, 1 silver, and 2 bronze medals, spanning 4 Olympic Games in her illustrious career. At the 1984 Olympics in Los Angeles, she won the silver medal in the heptathlon. 4 years later, in 1988 Games in Korea, Jackie struck gold in both the world's record and her signature, the heptathlon. She followed up by that in the 1992 Games in Barcelona, Spain, by winning the gold in the heptathlon, and I'm getting it, and bronze in the long jump. Now, let me tell you about the heptathlon. That's 7 events. 7. So it's a very difficult task and a very difficult word. In her final Olympic appearance at the 1996 Atlanta Games, she won the bronze medal in the long jump. In addition, she won a total of 4 gold medals and 3 different world championships and finished first in the long jump at the 1987 Pan American Games. Sports Illustrated for Women's Magazine named Jackie the greatest female athlete of the 20th century. But wait, not on one occasion, not 2 occasions, but 3 different occasions she was donned with that honor in 1994, 1987, and 1986. She also was honored by Track and Field News as the World Athlete of the Year. She was named as the top American athlete 5 times, 1994, 1992, 1991, 1987, and 1986. So it's just an honor to introduce to you Miss Jackie Joyner-Kersee.
Did I get it? Thank you. Thank you. Again, thank you for that very, very warm welcome. I truly appreciate it, and I love you too. Thank you. But first of all, it's an honor for me to be here. And I dreamed years ago when I was running around the streets of East St. Louis, and a lot of you weren't even born yet. But I dream of just wanting to make my parents proud. And to be in a position that I'm in today is because of the people who believed in me. And as I look out and see all of your faces, I see a dear friend of mine that I would like to ask to stand, Dr. Deborah Paul, who, please stand, Deb. Not only is she a dear friend, at one time she was the mayor of East St. Louis. She went on to the University of Nebraska, played basketball as well as ran track. On the high school level, we were state champions 3 times over and continue when I left. And not only that, we were the only team on our basketball team to go undefeated 33-0 back in the days, Deb. But the reason I'm here today is because of you. I remember when I was a scholar athlete, and at that time, we really didn't have a celebration. The only time you would hear about student athletes if they did something that was out of the ordinary, or their name was plastered across the paper for doing something that was destructive. But to be here today, to salute all of you, not only because of your athletic policies, but also because of your scholar, your intellect, the things that you are doing, combining both and trying to be productive citizens. For me, my philosophy has always been being a winner in life, striving to set my own goals and making sure that I attain those goals by the things that I strive out to do. And that philosophy, winning in life, is both on and off the field. So what I want to do in the classroom, and then I knew my mom was like, you get your grades, you got to do this. If I didn't do that, I couldn't go play, I couldn't do sports. She wouldn't let me do the things I wanted to do. So I knew at a very young age that it was important for me to make sure that academically I was sound. I didn't know this athletic gift will allow me to be able to travel the world and meet people from all walks of life. So being able to have the combination of them both, being able to attain a scholarship to my school of choice was UCLA, to be able to go to the West Coast, but then go on and do things academically there, but then also trying to be the very best, not trying to be the best in the world, but being the very best for myself. And that was giving my all each time I stepped on the track or when I stepped into the classroom. And when I walked away, knowing that I wanted to get back into the community. So you have the ability to shape your lives. You are the scholars. You are the future of tomorrow. When they talk about nothing good come from young people, you're in the public school system. When all we do is get beat down, your spirit get beat down, but you find a way to uplift your spirit, uplift your teachers, uplift the administrators, to give them hope so they can continue to find the resources to allow your dreams to become a reality. So I salute you, and I encourage you to be winners in life in your endeavors. And God bless you, and thank you for having me.
That was powerful. Let's give her a hand once again. Now it's my pleasure to introduce Mr. Les Snead. After spending nearly 2 decades playing a key role in helping 2 different franchises become playoff contenders, Les Snead was named Rams general manager on February the 14th, 2012. In his role as general manager, Snead oversees the club's personnel department and scouting efforts with head coach Jeff Fisher. And he directs all personnel decisions for the club. In addition, he coordinates all aspects of the club's football operation with the head coach. Prior to joining the Rams, Snead spent 13 seasons with the Atlanta Falcons. He serves as the club's director of player personnel from 29 to 11. He also held positions as a pro scout and the Falcons' director of pro personnel. Snead played tight end at Auburn from 1992 to 1993. He was part of the Tigers team that went 11-0, had a perfect season in 1993. He also earned Southeast Region academic All-American honors during his college career, a scholar athlete. From Eufaula, Alabama, and he was a graduate assistant at Auburn after his collegiate days end. It is my distinct pleasure to introduce to you Mr. Les Snead.
Okay, after that introduction, it's obvious I was not fast. There's no medals, no more medals, no Sports Illustrated Men Athletes of the Year in that. And then I was going to help you out earlier, Mr. Brown, but now I think I'm going to have to talk with you after this for giving me the distinct honor of following her, because I'm going to take that up with you after this meeting for sure. Interesting. And one thing I got to note that's definitely left out in this is all the gold medals, all the track, but it's the basketball that I think was left out because you were played at UCLA as well. So that was the part I was in. I think that got left out in this whole introduction of a great athlete. I'm jacked to be here. It's awesome. to come full circle here. All of you from St. Louis, just like her, to be sitting on this stage with her. I can give you full circle and not to date you, but the first time I saw her in the Olympics was it was probably the summer of my 7th grade year. I was about to go in 8th grade, I think, when you won your first gold medal. And then 4 years later, 1988, I was about your age. I was probably my summer after junior year going into senior year when she wins the next medal. So I remember distinctly every summer when the Olympics would come on. They were a big deal back then, seeing Jackie win medals, and that's awesome. So to sit here beside you today, that's awesome. I think all of you in the room, it's a great honor. I'm going to help you out, Mr. Brown, because he told me his vision of this whole banquet today, and he mentioned student athlete first, and he used the word student first, and all of us in here have some nice athletic accolades, I believe. But y'all are here really because of the 3.25 or higher and the student first. So to help you out, his vision for this is to let everyone know that there is life after athletics. It's going to end one day. Not all of us are going to get to play professionally. Not all of us are going to win gold medals. So to help you out, a little impromptu, I got artists. Our PR director, where's artists? I appreciate this. Here's what happens, and because I'm in the NFL, I know these stats. Y'all are all in high school today. Every year there's 1.1 million people who play high school football, okay? 65,000 of the 1.1 million are going to go on to play college football, okay? Of that 65,000, 198 will make an opening day roster in the NFL. Of that 198, 30 will play to the age of 30. So out of the 1.1 million high school football players today, 30 of those guys are going to play to age 30. So to put those, we always had some fun stats, and I couldn't remember them all, but the one I always remember, you got about as good a chance of being held up in a bank robbery than making it to the NFL on an open day roster. So just so you know, what you're doing in the classroom is what's going to take you down the road in life. Keep going in athletics, and we'll go from there. It's interesting. I know all of us, in the St. Louis Rams, we just finished our draft. It's pretty neat about it. I know we drafted the kid out of West Virginia. We went up and got him. He was probably smaller than all of y'all in this room. But really fast, like Jackie, his mom was a really good track athlete in high school. Never got to college. Told Jackie he got her speed from mom, like all of us do. My mom obviously was slow. No gold medals for me. The interesting thing about Tavon and his mom is when you do the research on these kids, when you're going to make an investment in a draft pick, especially when you're going to move up 8 spots in the draft and make him your #1 overall pick, you want to know who you're getting. And we do a lot of work. We go back to the kid's neighborhood. We spend about 3 to 4 days in that neighborhood. We talk to the people who raised the kid, from the little league coaches, high school, teachers, guidance counselors, a lot of people like you in this room who help raise these kids and develop them every day. What's interesting, when you go to his town in Baltimore, it's one of the roughest sections in the country. Not a lot of people escape. Interesting stat when you came out of there is the chief of police in that area said that there's a university in Baltimore named Townsend State, and it's kind of right there in this rough neighborhood, and they usually say that if you can somehow be fortunate enough to grow up within a block or two of this university, you got a chance. You got a fighting chance to get out. And he did, and he got out. What's neat about that is his athletic and his receiving and his returning and all he can do is pretty neat. But what's really great is when you go to West Virginia and you talk to those people, the educators, the athletic director. The athletic director happens to be the dad of a guy named Andrew Luck, who was drafted #1 overall by the Colts last year. We all know Andrew. We know his skills. We know his intangibles. But when you hear Andrew's dad talk about Tavon and his character and how he's pulling for that kid because he came from tough obstacles, and yes, he can run and he can catch and all that, but he's a leader on that campus and he's beloved. That's the great things, that's the great stories that come out of drafts when you get to go talk to all the people who raised those kids just like you. We'll start with a quote today. Successful people don't have fewer problems. They have determined that nothing will stop them from going forward. I'm going to repeat that. Successful people don't have fewer problems. They have determined that nothing will stop them from going forward. This quote's by a guy named Dr. Ben Carson. A lot of us probably have no clue who Dr. Ben Carson is. I first read his book when I was in college. It was called Think Big. I think in 2013, not too long ago, he spoke at a prayer breakfast. And from that speech, there's a lot of rumor that he should be or should run for the next president of the United States. The great thing about Dr. Ben Carson, he is a brain surgeon at Johns Hopkins. And I know you guys are high school students, have no clue really what Johns Hopkins is. I know you guys are probably into headsets too. So Johns Hopkins and brain, it's like Beats are to headsets. I mean, it is the big time place to be a brain surgeon. He was the first surgeon to separate Siamese twins a long time ago that were born together. The interesting thing about him is he grew up in a very rough neighborhood, Detroit, Michigan. Mom could not read. She was illiterate. But she decided that Ben was going to get out of that neighborhood and be successful. And she made him every day before he could play sports, or every week, write a report on a book. She couldn't read. She graded it. She just faked it. From there, he went to Yale, to the University of Michigan, med school, and maybe the next president of the United States. But here's the deal. Just like a lot of us, he had tough obstacles, grew up in a tough neighborhood in Detroit. Mom couldn't read. Dad not around. But guess what? He didn't stop there. He didn't stop there. The obstacles didn't get in the way. So that's a nice deal there for him. I'm going to read that quote again as we go. Successful people don't have fewer problems. They have determined nothing will stop them from going forward. As I sit here in this room and I mention 8th grade, first time, really probably a year later, that she won the Olympics in 1984. Was that Mary Lou's year too? I think I was a Mary Lou fan. I think that 10 won me over on whatever she did there, that dismount. So the Olympics were big then. I don't know if they are now. We were always in football, and I can't watch them as much. A lot of times, spent some time this summer with my wife watching them. It was pretty cool. 8th grade, I had never made a B in my life. Okay, never made a B in my life. Kind of a C, probably D student. I had a friend, 8th grade, challenge me for the first time in a science class. Who's going to make the best grade? That day was the first A. Whenever we got our next report card, first A I ever made. From that point forward, I never made another B, okay, into junior high. And somehow, after being a CD student through 6th and 7th grade, I got in the Honor Society in 8th grade after that one challenge. And what was interesting about that is that started the first time a goal in my life. And it was a challenge, and it was a step forward, because from then point on, I'd never played football ever until that point either. And at that moment, back then, helmets are in vogue now. A lot of cool, really cool helmets, but really small town, like a lot of you. Dad not around. He was a truck driver. Mom not educated. Worked a couple of jobs to put meals on the table for me, and didn't play a lot of Little League football or baseball. But in 8th grade, we tried out for football for the first time. And I just remember that if you were really good, you got what was called a bike helmet. Not even sure if they still exist, but that was the cool helmet. And you got a bike, but if you weren't that good, you got a Rydell helmet. And at that moment, when I walked in there and I kind of figured out I was kind of playing right field on this football field, I made a goal. I want a bike helmet. And eventually I got the bike helmet. Eventually I had a goal to win a championship, and did that. And from that point forward, had a goal to play college football, did that. And from there, all the obstacles I faced in life, they didn't affect me. It was the goals that I had that I focused on. Another quote, a goal should scare you a little, but excite you a lot. That first A wasn't really the first A. I just wanted to beat my best friend. There was a million reasons why I shouldn't have made an A that day, but I wanted to kick my best friend's butt, and I did. That was the exciting part. Hey, that bike helmet meant a lot to me. Playing college football at Auburn meant a lot to me. Not sure I ever had a dream of running an NFL franchise, but because of the small goals that overcame the obstacles, here I am today. And we're going to try to turn this franchise around. I think we're on the way. So remember this, there's always a million reasons why not, and that's the scary part. There's usually one reason why. That's the exciting part. Do me a favor, focus on that reason why, because that's excitement. That's what gets your heart going. That's why you're living. Thank you. It's been well stated recently, a little bit of a personal philosophy of mine. Wake up sprinting, don't be scared. The wake up sprinting for me means open every day, striving to achieve your goal at top speed. Open every day, whatever your goal is, open it up, try to achieve it at top speed. Don't be scared. Have the mental, moral strength to venture and persevere adversity, fear, difficulty. It's been a long time since I was your age, but sitting beside her brought back memories. I can remember the living room that I was in when she won the gold medal. It was the same living room of my best friend who challenged me to make an A. I can remember when she was getting her medal. I can remember when Mary Lou was getting hers. It seems like yesterday. Know this, just have the mental and moral strength to venture and persevere adversity, fear, difficulty. When you're that age, your age now, you got a lot of dreams. There's a million reasons why not. Remember, there's one reason why. Focus on it. I'm going to leave you with this. For the good or for the bad, he's ready to go. I knew I would bore him at one time. So here's what I'm going to go with you. Whoever said thank you, I'll leave you with this. For the good or for the bad, you're in a free country. The bad part of that is it's up to you. The good part about it is up to you. Your life's a bell curve, and you're going to fall somewhere on it. You're going to fall somewhere on it. And usually the people that fall somewhere on the back end of it, they have excuses. By the time you make your excuses, nobody cares. They're not listening. So it's up to you. And it's going to be the sum of your decisions, not your circumstances, that put you somewhere on that bell curve. So remember this. Some of your decisions, not your circumstances. You're in a free country, and your decisions are starting today. Whether you know it, understand it, comprehend it, they start today. Go for it.
Wow. Just awesome. Just awesome. Take those words of wisdom and use them wisely. two great individuals here that made a change. The individuals in this room could do the same. As I walked around the room earlier, one thing that was noticeable when I spoke to the student athletes, some were 9th graders, 10th graders. Some were seniors over here, the table I spoke with. And so you would enter your collegiate careers on next year. Those 9th, 10th, and 11th, you have opportunity to continue to build. In my welcome, I said this St. Louis Public Schools provide you with an academic purpose and an athletic purpose. So keep that focus, Scholar athletes. It is an honor to introduce the next speaker. This individual, she has a lot of energy. She's just resourceful, she's dynamic, she's articulate, and she has a genuine concern for staff, for students, and the St. Louis Public Schools community. It is my pleasure to bring to the podium Ms. Linda Rikers of the St. Louis Public Schools Development and Partnership Office.
Good afternoon. It's so exciting to be in front of you. And I'll just keep about 2 minutes so you're able to get to the next part. It's a special honor to describe some of the partnerships. The first one, of course, is the St. Louis Rams. They're our sponsor. I was hoping I could say this, and I can, that we had an excellent inspirational speaker. You were just great. The table role models also today from the Rams, a wide range of careers, and that's what we're about, to look at all the kinds of wonderful things that are possible after sports. The table role models are extraordinary. What we're going to do is, for every table role model, send you the comments of the students. And also, what Travis does is go to the National Athletic Directors Conference, and we'll be sharing this as a model for the country. We are thrilled that so many partnerships continue to happen. One of them is that Jack Amish, where's Channel 9, yay, that they are doing a story on the Scholar Athlete program. We also have Jason Williams, who is with Maryville, Rawlings Sports Management program, and that we're looking for new partnerships with him. We have the National Field Hockey Association. They are working with us on a new partnership with donating equipment. The list goes on and on. And so what this is really about is the students here and all the different table role models and expanding this program. I also would like to recognize all the athletic directors of the St. Louis Public Schools, the staff of the St. Louis Public Schools Office of Institutional Advancement, because it's really a team effort to put together this kind of program. We also would like to recognize the Missouri Athletic Club, who said that no, we can only hold 410 and we're at 500, so we want to thank them as well. So please understand that the students in the St. Louis Public Schools, you are an inspiration, 3.25 and above, and we look forward to many more things happening. And we have a special treat now, Travis, right? So thank you very much.
As I look around, I can see how much our student athletes enjoyed the program and enjoy receiving their lapel pins. And I would like to take this opportunity again to thank our guest speakers. Let's give them a hand one more time. Our table role models. Let's give them a hand. The Rams organization. Let's give them a hand. Our ADs. I would really like for the ADs to stand. Let's give them a hand. Stand, ADs. Mr. Gaines. Dr. Adams. The team that helped put this together. Our staff from central office. And especially the scholar athletes. Now, scholar athletes, Mr. Gaines and Dr. Adams told me, they said, Travis, that this is school time, and we want to make sure that our scholar athletes get back to school on time. And I simply said, you are absolutely correct. So as we part, remember the words that you heard today. And those who are going to college, we wish you a good luck. Those who are coming back, and notice I said coming back, because you will maintain those grades or even higher, and we'll see you next year. Thank you.